What's up, guys? So as promised, here is our 2,000 day world tour of the hardcore world. My first time making a YouTube video, so we're going to see how this goes. Alright, so it only makes sense to start off with the first build that I did on here, which is this mansion build. I built this really early on in the world, which is kind of ironic because there is nothing in here. All that it has is my pets, so I got Crypto, Xavier, and then up top here we have Buddy and Rex Jr. And then it's just 2 more floors with nothing in them, so nothing special in here. And as you kind of see, that's what it looks like from the outside. You got the dome shaped, and that's really it. There's nothing really special about that build. One of the next things I did on here really early on was this storage room. So this is like a little tower design. There are 7 layers in here. However, I am only using 4 of the layers. Really nothing too special about this. Was pretty expensive actually to build early on in the world because I didn't have an iron farm up and going yet. So these chains and the lanterns were where a lot of my iron went right off the bat. Next we got this villager trading hall right over here. It's pale oak, dark oak, spruce, and deep slate was the main block palette for this. So there's space for 120 villagers in here, however we do only have 105 villagers in here due to this chunk bugging out and suffocating 15 of the villagers. So I just decided to leave those blank because I got tired of restocking the villagers in there. So we have 20 farmers, 30 librarians, 20 stone masons, wait, 5? Yeah, 20 stone masons, and 5 of all the others. So pretty cool. That's how I get all my emeralds in there. Mainly from these guys with the melon and pumpkin trades. That's how I get almost all of my emeralds. One little note of a build that doesn't really get shown on any of the streams real often is this little TikTok memorial that I built right before the first TikTok ban when it went dark for 12 hours. So that's kind of just going to chill there. Eventually I'd like to get like a little pathway up to it and decorated, but I don't know when that's going to be. And speaking of like emeralds and trading and all that, this is how I got the majority of my emeralds very early on in the world. So we got these melon and pumpkin farms. They're all automatic. They are using piston and observer mechanics to automatically harvest melons and pumpkins. So that is how those work, and then I just take all those and go trade them with the villagers. Next we have this greenhouse looking build. So this is actually a crop farm. So it is semi-automatic, so all these, what they do is there's dispensers in the back that have water buckets in them. So when I hit like this button like that, you can see the water comes and harvests everything. The only thing I have to do then is just go back and replant them. And I know I can use villagers for this, but I like doing it by hand. I liked this design instead of working with villagers, and they all go into this chest here for collection. So that's pretty neat. And I did that for all 4 of the basic crop types. And yeah, this was a fun build to do. So this is kind of what everything looks like from the air. So there's the greenhouse, the mansion, the melon and pumpkin farm, the trading hall, the storage room, and then some of these other little buildings are like this is a automatic sugarcane farm. So they use kind of the same mechanics as the, I don't know why there's nothing right there. This basically uses the same mechanics as the melon and pumpkin farm in the way that it uses pistons and observers to automatically harvest everything. So I just did take everything out to make paper for rockets, but it actually does pretty good rates when I'm in the area. And then basically the exact same design, like building and all, is this bamboo farm that works the exact same way, just to get a lot of wood real easily. Another little thing we got is that was my first XP farm we had in the world. That was a gold farm from BlazeMC on YouTube. That up in the air, which I'm not going to go fly up and show, is a resin farm. So that uses Trident Killer and Kings to harvest the resin clumps. Now there's not really much over there. You can kind of see an iron farm floating there, and then over the hill, over that way, is a villager breeder, is where I do all my raids and stuff and get all my villagers from. But there's not really worth showing. And then over this way behind the sugarcane farm, nice little bridge that I made. It's pretty cool. And right here we have a automatic wool farm. So there's 16 sheep in here that get sheared, one of each color, to get all the wool. And we have Jeb and Jeb. They oversee all the operations over here. Just down any of these ladders you can go down, and this is where everything is collected. So that's pretty neat, comes in handy. Then we have this tiny little building over here. So this is actually SilentWhisperer's moss farm. So we have that guy built right there, and then on the opposite side eventually is going to be the same design but with pale moss. So I can run those whenever I need to if I want to do any building with moss. Another build that I started that I did get a little burnt out on and need to get back to is this mob zoo. So we got some camels over here, they're pretty cool, as well as polar bears. Where are the polar bears hiding? They like to be by the wall. There's one there, and there's one up there. This is going to be enclosure for pandas. Haven't gotten any pandas yet. But we also have some donkeys. There's foxes. I think those are pigs. Yeah, pigs over there. There's some cave underneath here that I need to go find and light up so mobs can stop spawning. And then we got ocelots. There's some cows right in here. I guess they must have escaped somehow. Then there's also Arctic foxes. I guess just the one in there right now. And armadillos. So those guys are pretty cool. And then this building right here in the middle is actually automatic honey bottle and honeycomb farm. So we got all the bees in there. There's actually hoppers underneath that run and collect all this stuff that they drop. You see, like, those are gone now. Underneath here is just that collection system that collects all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. This was a fun build to do. Liked working with the bees. That was a nice change of pace for a little bit. And like I said, this build is nowhere near finished. It means I need to come back and keep working on this. Probably my favorite finished build that I've done is this library that's down here. It's where I keep a lot of things. Actually, we spent a lot of time working on this. This is probably one of the more detailed builds I've done on here. But this is actually a little underground library looking thing. So we have 18 slots here around the side for all the armor trims, and my goal for the world is to have a fully enchanted set of netherite for each trim. So I think that's the sentry trim, we got that one done. The eye trim is done, and then right now I'm wearing the flow armor trim. But some of these, we'll get to all of them eventually. That's where I got my enchanting table. Over here is actually, that book right there is all the TikTok team members that have sent heart me's during one of the lives. And then if you go up to one of these upper levels, each of these barrels has a specific enchantment. So like this one's Fire Aspect. All the Fire Aspect books I have are in there. Looting 3, Efficiency 5. So like most of the tool stuff is on that side, is on this side, and then armor over on that side. So that's pretty neat. This was a fun build to do, a little more detailed than things I've really done in the past on here with like some of the cracked stone bricks, some of the mossy stone bricks. So this was fun to do. Now that is really it for this area, so we're going to head into the Nether and go to one of the other areas I have. There's a couple other spots worth showing. I got a Nether hub. Really isn't anything special. There's still a lot of stuff I need to do in here, putting in like some of the nicer walls and stuff, but this helps me get around super fast. I'm not going to go down that hallway. That just leads to a couple farms, like a Trident farm, General Mob farm, and a Creeper farm. But yeah, nothing special there. Down this other hallway is actually something I've really not shown on any stream before. So we'll head over that way now. So one of the projects I go on and off working on is a Nether transformation project, where I am basically getting rid of a Nether fortress and turning it into like a overworld looking castle. So it's going to be a lot of terraforming and stuff like that. And what I accidentally did was make a giant spawning platform over a lava pit around a fortress, and didn't turn out very well. But this is kind of what it's started looking like now. It's just, like I said, just a big spawning platform. So nothing real special quite yet. Yeah, but it should look really cool once it's done. I started placing in a little bit of the concrete, which is going to kind of look like the sky. So basically I want people to like go and like see it and think, oh, there's no way that can be the Nether. But the reason I did want to build it around a fortress is because of this blaze spawner right here. So I'm wanting to make one of the towers of the castle like the house for that blaze spawner. I think that could be a neat idea. And really only the other thing worth showing is the Stronghold transformation project we've been working on over the last few weeks. So I'll show that real quick if I can start flying closer. There we go. Maybe not. I need to expand this so I can actually fly a little bit easier. So I'll go through these portals here. And this is what we have been working on. It's all loading in. So this is, used to be the Stronghold, so we got the end portal right here, pretty cool. So it's 3 floors right now, so the top floor just has the staircases connected to it. This floor, which I'll go up to, actually, is this the one that's not the one that's finished. This side is the one that's finished. So yeah, these are what the staircases look like. I got the lava streams, kind of copied that design from this outer section here. But like on these sides here, we have the side's a melon farm, so it does pretty good rates. You see it goes back pretty far, and the water streams and hoppers bring everything into the collection system. And I know some people might be wondering, why did I use barrels? I just liked the look of the barrels compared to the chest. You can hear the amount of pistons running. So this guy goes pretty quick. A lot of these these barrels get filled up pretty quickly. And then the same thing on the other side is pumpkins. So same exact design, farm works the exact same. Kind of look back there and see everything. And it does pretty good rates as well. A lot of these barrels, like this one, got filled up pretty quickly. Eventually we're going to have villagers in here to trade with. A lot of farmer villagers get a lot more emeralds. It's going to be a neat base once it's done. I want to put in a storage room over here. Some other farms. Just fill it up with whatever I can. And it's actually gonna go down to Bedrock where we're gonna do a effect to make it look like the void, like maybe a fog effect type thing. But only one of the sides right now goes all the way down to Bedrock. This side right here, where we're gonna actually keep this beacon, is down to Bedrock. So eventually all these will be, but that's gonna be a while. And the last thing is, the top of this here is actually covered by purple stained glass. It's kind of hard to see, because I do have a pack from Bedrock Tweaks that gets rid of all the borders on the glass beacon. It's actually perfect right now. You can see it's raining, but because of the glass, it's not actually raining in here. And the way out of these bases, or this base, is these water elevators are, so like this would be, if you don't come through the Nether portal, this would be your entrance right here. Same is going to be on the other side, and your exit would be right here. But for the most part, I do come in here just from the Nether portal. So yeah, that's really the whole world tour. I'll probably do another one of these in a couple 1,000 days from now. In the world, I mean. Like in-game days. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the world tour.